One of my favorite things to do on this show is introduce you to a golf destination you may not have previously considered. A place where you can have just as much fun off the course as on, and that's definitely the case today, as we bring you to an area that perhaps you've driven through for a lot of years. And after today, my hope is you'll stick around and stay for a while as we introduce you to beautiful Grayling, Michigan, straight ahead.
Welcome to Michigan Golf Live Television, shining the spotlight on the best places to play, stay, and celebrate the greatest game on earth. Stay connected to Michigan Golf Live 24/7 on Facebook, X, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. And subscribe for free to our weekly FORE Golfers Network podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere podcasts are found.
Hello friends, and welcome into the program. Bill Hobson here, and we have a real treat in store for you today, because not only do we have the opportunity to showcase some really good golf, but we're going to turn the spotlight on an entire community that doesn't often get the spotlight. In fact, far too often, far too many of you have been driving past Grayling, Michigan, instead of setting it as your destination. But as you'll see in the moments ahead, whether you come here for golf, a little time on the river, some really good food, or an immersion into the history of the area, Grayling's got a little something for everybody. Now, of course, we are a golf show first and foremost, so we'll start things off by introducing you to a really fun course called the Patriot. It was back in 1990 when the Grayling area welcomed in a newly constructed golf course called Fox Run. Some of you may have played Fox Run, but it was just a couple of years ago when new ownership came in and rebranded and have infused new life into this really cool design. Jim and Chris Erickson are the owners. It's a family-owned and operated organization here, and you must be awfully proud of your baby.
I'm definitely proud of it, Bill. You know, it was a big adventure to take on the golf course. We're just a couple average golfers, and we came about and decided to purchase a golf course.
But you had a dream.
We had a dream and a vision, and we've started to implement that with the help of a very good grounds crew and a lot of upgrades and those types of things. So it's coming around.
This course is in wonderful shape. I'd like to have you take us into the story of the name, the Patriot.
The Patriot came about it was Chris, my wife's idea. It came about as a U.S. veteran of the Navy, and then being close to Camp Grayling, it kind of all tied together. And one day I came home from work, and she said, "I've got the name, the Patriot," and that's where it all started.
And then the hard work really begins, because owning and operating a golf property is heavy lifting. They're long hours, right? What's the reward?
The reward is seeing people's smiling faces and the comments and compliments they give to us after the round. People that may have at one time had left Fox Run, and now they see all the gains and improvement, and now they continue to come back, and word of mouth is spreading, and it's a great thing. That's the pat on the back, and obviously the hard work pays off.
I love northern Michigan, and this course, you can see all kinds of wildlife. It's perfect northern Michigan golf. Great people, friendly around here. We do a lot for our veterans, and they get a special rate, so we like to keep them coming from the base. You know, they sacrifice a lot for us, and we like to give back to them.
I want to make sure people know that they have an invitation to come and play here.
Yes,
right? Everybody
we welcome
watching.
everybody to come play. Whether you're a new golfer, been golfing for years, a kid just starting out, we love seeing the kids come out. And I think it's a nice course for all. It's a great course for beginners, you know, but yet there's enough challenges, so the people that golf really well are able to have fun here too. I love the members. The people that come are just great. Our staff is wonderful, and we just like to see people smile and have fun golfing.
All right, let's talk in more detail about the golf course itself, and take us through some of your favorite holes, maybe the strategy or what we're going to see when we're on the tee.
Most people, when they talk about the Patriot, will talk about number 4 and number 5. Number 4 is a par 4. It's down into a landing area about 200 off the tee, or else you're in the marsh, and then it's a shot 100, 120 yard uphill into an elevated green over the marsh. And then once you get on the green's pretty tricky. It's got a lot of slant slope to it. And so even after you hit the green in regulation, it can still be a challenge.
We jump up to another par 3, the 7th hole. which sometimes plays into a kind of a prevailing wind, so perhaps an extra club there.
The number 7 is definitely an extra club if it's breezy in your face, without doubt.
Love the way number 9 frames up, whether you're finishing around or making the turn, but you've got the flag behind the green, you've got the clubhouse, and you've got a pretty stout challenge there on number 9.
So you got to have a decent tee shot off of number 9. Obviously to the right is out of bounds, and to the left is fairway number 1. It's one of the only holes where you can play from a different fairway here, because most are wood lined. And then your second shot, obviously the green again has a lot of slope, so everything breaks towards the right from left to right. So you want to aim a little left of the pin and then bring it into the right.
Okay, we step on 14 tee, and it's evident right away that this is a big tee shot, probably followed by a fairly decent length second shot.
14 is a little bit longer of a par 4. Left is out of bounds. You'll be in deep trouble left. Right, you can also be in the trees. And so it's very important you play left center, and then you'll have 150 yards into the green. And then again, the green slopes from back to front. And so the putt won't be much fun either.
17, another beautiful par 3.
Yeah, 17 is a par 3. It's our one water hole that we have here, and it's all carry over the pond to a narrow green guarded by 2 bunkers.
Finish us up on the home hole, number 18.
The home hole goes pretty much straight forward, goes down, goes a little bit left, but it is guarded by a monster white pine. And so if you hit too close to that tree, it becomes an issue of clearing the tree and holding the green. So you want to be, again, a little right of center, avoid that big pine tree, and then you got a chance at a decent score.
So you finished your 18-hole round at the Patriot, had a great time, but you worked up quite an appetite, and now you're really just craving a really good burger. Maybe it's called a Spike Burger, which works out really well because here we are at Spike's. Jeremy owns the place. We've got Spike's Keg O Nails and Spike's Riverside.
Yep.
Right next to each other.
Yep.
And the burgers are the thing here, right?
World famous Spike Burgers.
What's the story of this place?
Spike McNavin opened this place up in '33. He owned it for a long time. My wife and I, we got into this business about 20 years ago. So we've been doing burgers and beers for 19 years, but Spike's has been doing it since 1933. I think that people come through the area and they want to see Spike's Keg O Nails and they want it to be what it's always been. And I think that's when we left that like it is. So we built this. We wanted it to be a patio. It turned into much more. We have a full service menu out here with a full service bar that overlooks the AuSable River with glass doors all the way around. We're pretty proud of it.
And now for the moment that I've been waiting for, and maybe you have as well. We've got to do a taste test and see if the Spike Burger is really all it's cracked up to be. And then we'll make our way around to the rest of the entrees, just as my quality control public service on your behalf. Why don't we take a break? When we come back, we'll visit some of the fun you can have off the golf course as we continue introducing you to Grayling as a destination, not just a pass-through. That story straight ahead. Welcome back into the show as we introduce you to Grayling, Michigan, the golf, life, and fun that you can have in this area so that you'll stop driving past and make this your destination. Now, quite often on the show, our crew will stay in whatever resort or hotel we're featuring. But this time we have a special treat because we get to immerse ourselves in the kind of history that dates back to the days of Prohibition. It's called the Hanson House, and I can't wait to tell you the story of this really cool place. Let's head on inside. It's really cool to step into this, almost a museum of history. So what is the origin story of the Hanson House?
Apparently Rasmus wanted to live in Grayling where his lumber operations were, and he built this house so that his wife would move north and have a nice place to stay. And I think back in that part of the time, Grayling was still a pretty rugged area, not a lot here. This house was his attempt to get his wife to move north.
And there's a Prohibition tie-in, if I understand correctly.
If rumor is true, the tunnel entrance or exit is still evident in the basement. It's been bricked over. There was a point in time where the tunnel connected the 2 houses, and supposedly it was a Prohibition tunnel, so they could entertain their their friends here.
When you have a historic bed and breakfast like this, you have to walk that balance between maintaining what was here and then kind of adding in some touches of modern hospitality. How do you walk that balance?
Definitely a fine line. Just try to make the design and decorating touches still fit the era, be modern enough that guests, have a pleasant experience.
What kind of groups have you hosted here?
Golfers, bird watchers, couples just looking to get away for a weekend and walk around town and shop. Anybody that's watching this is welcome to come stay and enjoy the house and all that Grayling has to offer. So.
From the history and the beauty at the Hanson House, we now bring you to some fun on the water, because water fun is a big part of your Grayling experience. And our next stop brings us into Borchers AuSable Canoe-Kayak with Riverside Bed and Breakfast, a mouthful for sure.
It is.
And Justin Davis, this is your place.
It is, yes.
Okay, how does it add to the Grayling visitor experience?
Well, Grayling is very much known to be, kind of the mecca of this part of Michigan for river traffic. This place started in 1936, was the first one in Grayling, and it's just grown since. It's anybody going from especially the side of Michigan to the Traverse City area to Mackinac, they gotta come to this part of Michigan. The AuSable River is kind of what it's known for. Whether it's us or one of the other libraries here in Grayling, everybody seems to want to do that river experience. They want to get on the river for a couple hours and then, head up to Mackinac, Traverse City, or wherever their final destination is.
Summertime's a special time in Grayling, isn't it?
It is. You see that you got the river, the fly fishing, and then you kind of have the pinnacle, which is the AuSable Canoe Marathon, the last Saturday in July.
You don't have to kayak or canoe to enjoy life on the river here in Grayling. You can get a fly rod in your hands and team up with an expert like Andy Partlow here from Old AuSable Fly Shop to just enjoy the peace and quiet and the beauty of being on the river trying to catch something, right? So I'm a rank amateur at this. I need your help.
You need a pair of waders and a rod, and then you can head to the river. And we're happy to help you learn how to do things if you need a guide or an instructor.
What do you have in the shop that makes it a special shop?
Without bias, we have one of the best shops in the country, and part of it is we're literally 10 feet, from the banks of the AuSable. We have everything. Like if we don't have it, you don't need it. We offer full guide services, from casting instruction to 4-hour instructionals for up to 3 or 4 people, to group classes. And we also do full day and half day guided fishing trips for all levels of anglers.
I've been told for a lot of years that our show could use a little more culture, and so we've come to Grayling to find a little more culture in the space occupied by the AuSable Artisan Village, and Riddell Rosin knows all about this. So bring us some culture, would you? What's this all about?
Sure, this is a nonprofit organization held here in northern Michigan, so we feature actually about 60 Michigan artists. We feature just Michigan artists to explore the art world of Michigan and what it all has to offer. So you'll find jewelry, you'll find all mediums of art. There's fine art, there's canvas, there's photography, all kinds of different things.
And all of it's Michigan generated.
It is, completely. It's truly unique to the artist. Which I think that sets it apart. For everyone that's coming through Grayling, they're going to stop here in this beautiful haven of downtown Grayling and see the AuSable Artisan Village and take something home with them that is truly unique.
You know how much we love good food everywhere we travel, and when we come to Grayling, one of the experiences you get to enjoy is fantastic food in a place called Paddle Hard. Josie, what's the vibe in Paddle Hard?
Well, Paddle Hard was kind of curated to be a really casual dining experience. So you can come hang out, have a good beer, eat some more novelty pizza, I think, rather than the classics, and relax, right? Enjoy your meal, and then come back and have another. We've always said that we want to create something funky enough for you to try it, but good enough for you to come back and eat it again. So when I say dill pickle pizza, people all across the state go, oh, I've had that, and I love it.
What are we doing with a 1 pound pretzel?
1 pound pretzel is a new take on our charcuterie board. So we do pretzels and beer cheese, and they were a hit. We put our Paddle Hard Light in a beer cheese sauce, and we decided, you know what, let's make it even more neat. And we take this giant pretzel, and it gets a ton of cheeses and meats thrown on top with a handful of dipping sauces, and the whole table can share it.
What a cool scene in downtown Grayling. We had a blast getting to soak in some of the vibe. And if you've always treated Grayling as a drive past, now it's time to treat it as a destination. Set up shop, stick around and stay and enjoy this area for a couple of days. Straight ahead, we feature our final golf course of the show as we bring you to the Grayling Country Club. Don't let the name fool you. This beautiful layout is open for everybody to come and play. We'll have that story for you straight ahead. Stick around. We continue having a blast in Grayling, this great destination for golf and life and food and fun. And in our final moments, we want to showcase for you another idea for your golf group. We have come to the Grayling Country Club. Don't let the name fool you. This beautiful course and its very smooth rolling greens have an open invitation for your group to come and play. And hopefully, when you do, you can putt a bit more accurately than I did. Grayling Country Club is your home. What do you love about this place?
I love everything about the people, the location, and the condition. It's right downtown Grayling, and we've always prided ourselves on taking good care of the course. So for 100 years now, we've been a shareholder-owned course. So there is no profits that pads anybody. All of our money goes right back into the course. So we pride ourselves on taking good care of it. We've always been a public course. We want people to swing on by on their way to the lake or the river or somewhere else. It's important to stop and play new places and support new things.
Well, let's talk in specific about some of the holes that kind of stand out at us. And we'll start right on number 4, which is a really, well, it's a unique tee shot to say the least.
It is. The tee box is backed up into the corner of our property right along the I-75 business loop. And you've got to poke it out there on the right center of the fairway. When you hit that 90-degree turn, if you're on the left side, you can have the trees encroaching your approach shot. So right center is best, and you can be too long and you can definitely be too short on that drive. So everything hinges off that drive. There's nothing more important on that hole.
Take me ahead to number 8. What's our strategy here?
So number 8's a risk-reward hole. From the back of the tees, you're about 320 in with a greenside bunker tucked to the left and a greenside bunker pass. So you can try and drive it, but the risk there is that you could be in trouble. It's a narrow approach in on a drive, but you're protected by the water on the left and towering red pines on the right.
Time doesn't allow us to talk about every hole, but let's jump onto the back for a handful, starting with number 11.
And that's a 100-yard par 3. Not necessarily a peninsula green, but the water does go the majority of the way around it.
We're going to hit the home stretch here, 15 through 18.
So you can have a great round up until about 15, and that's about the time that you better buckle up and get geared up because you got some tough holes ahead. And 15 is a par 5. It is a dog leg left. The 150 marker is on the back side of the pond. So you hit over a pond. You've got a towering white pine that is actually on the left side of the fairway. You can hit to the left of the tree and go for the green in 2, or you can place it shorter and have a smaller 60 to 100 yard approach and be right of that tree. But that is one of our biggest greens on the course. So just because you hit the green doesn't mean your work is done. That part of the property, you're tucked back into what we call the backwaters of the AuSable River. And so it's thick and it's dense, and you can't see anything else in the world but the green you're on.
17 brings that river back into view. It's a beautiful little par 3.
17 is a hole that as you stand on that tee box and you look over, it looks really inviting and easy. But you get starting to pick up into some winds that are picking up over that river, and you got to watch which way that wind's blowing.
What's the strategy for the final hole?
Strategy on that hole is going to be at 100 yards, you're starting to pick up 2 bunkers that are drivable. You can clear them, or they are in play depending on your length. But you may want to lay back and be at the 120 to 110, and you got a pond that comes in front of the green there, circles back and around, and it's a rather large green with a false front. So it is shaped front to back in elevation. So that ball will check really quick, and it's not going to respond as you normally would expect on some of these other holes.
And then after you finish, you make your way up onto the backside of the clubhouse, onto this patio. And where you and I are sitting for this conversation, there's some deep connection and special meaning to this area. Can you bring us inside that family story of the Grayling Country Club?
Absolutely. Well, we've been here 100 years, and through 100 years, there's lots of things that happen to members and people who play here. But in April 29th of 2013, our Grayling golf team was in a tragic accident on their way to a match. The coach passed away, and one of the members of the team passed away in the accident. And the rest of the kids were left in the hospital, some fighting for their life. Shortly thereafter, the rest of the team wanted to play on for their buddies. And my mom and I stepped up. We became the coaches to fill in for Jason. And in his honor and in his memory of of Lewis, the senior who passed, they wanted to play on for their buddies. And our job at that point was to support them no matter how hard it was, no matter how much the loss hurt. And for those that recovered and continued on, we want them to forever be remembered.
You haven't always lived in Grayling, but ever since you've come here, this has been your home club, right?
It sure has, Bill. Back during the pandemic, when things were crazy for everyone, we had sold our house downstate and we were looking for a place to live. And like all avid golfers, I knew if I couldn't find a men's game 5 days a week, I was going to be a real problem. So I came over here one day and I met the club president at the time, and he told me to get involved with the golf leagues. And so I did that, and it really created a social life for myself, my wife, that is above and beyond anything we could have expected in moving into a small town. You know, certainly, as you know, small towns have a lot of local people, and they really embraced us, and we really feel a real part of things right now.
You finished your 18 holes at the Grayling Country Club. You've worked up a bit of an appetite, and you've been hearing so much about the river and how beautiful it is alongside the river. So what if we can take your appetite and bring it to the river and find some great barbecue for you? That's what we find at Ray's Barbecue, Brews, and Blues. Sarah and Ed are going to tell us about it. So first of all, Sarah, what makes this place cool? What makes Ray's cool?
I'd say it probably starts with the music. I mean, blues is in the name, and we always have it playing in the background when you're eating here. And then our staff is wonderful. We love taking care of guests and making them happy.
All right, Ed, hit some menu highlights for us if you would.
Right, today you guys had a sampling of what we offer, but the main one is the sandwich, the Beast, which comes with andouille sausage, our Ray's house sauce, which is made in-house, our brisket served with some pickles and onions, and it's just a really nice tall sandwich to fill your belly for sure.
Bring me inside the world of this cartoonish sized rib that looks like it belongs back in bedrock in Flintstone world.
So when the Flintstones cartoon would start up, they'd show the big rib being produced and brought to the car, tipping the car over. We take a little play on that, and we used we call it the giant beef rib or plate rib, and we smoke that for anywhere between 7 to 8 hours depending on size. And it's just a real delicacy right here. It's not something that you can get anywhere else.
Everybody here is so proud of their town. I know you're among them. What do you love most about Grayling?
Probably the small town. The beauty, I think, it's just absolutely gorgeous around here. We have over 20 lakes here. All of them are like really great fishing places. You know, we have the downtown district now, we have the social district, and restaurants, you know, coffee shops, breweries. It's great for a day trip if you'd want to go to Petoskey or Charlevoix, Traverse City, Mackinac Island, and we have great affordable lodging here also. That's the great thing about it. That's we have it located in close proximity to everything that we talked about, and several properties are on the river that offer canoeing and kayaking and fishing experiences. So visit GraylingMichigan.org.
For the past 30 minutes, we have taken you all around the Grayling area, on the river, on the bike trails. We've talked about and visited some of the historical sites. We've eaten far too much food. And we've also shown you a couple of the great golf courses in the area, the Patriot and Grayling Country Club. So now, the invitation is to you to stop passing through and start marking Grayling as a destination for your next getaway. You will love every minute of your time here, and they will love to host you. So we'll look forward to seeing you down the trail next time you're in town.